Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Coffee with Katie. I have my Starfall mug today and my Saja Boys sweatshirt. I love K-pop Demon Hunters, and it, like many people, sent me down the pipeline of K-pop, and now I'm a K-pop fan. I have a bias, I have albums. It's a whole thing. If you are a K-pop fan or you're like delving into the K-pop world as I am, please talk to me because it is wild. It's like 100% different culture with fandom and music. It's wild to say the least. Anyway, today's video is going to be one that I actually saw Becky from Bex Reads do. And I remember as soon as I watched it, I think I commented on her, I know I commented on her video, but I think I commented, oh my gosh, I really need to do this. And she was like, do it. So I loved the idea, but also kind of ruminating and reflecting on this situation. So she did a video on Netgalley and books that she was approved for or books that she was rejected for. And if she read them, didn't read them, and kind of how it all played out, right? So I kind of wanted to do that as well and reflect all of the books that I have requested from Netgalley. If you're not aware what Netgalley is, it's an online website that you can join and you can request to receive ebook or audio ARCs, advanced reader copies of books before they're published. And then you can, and the idea is that you read them and review them before they're published so that they get their name out there. They have, press for the release of the book. I feel like I used to request books a little bit, but I knew I wasn't a big e-reader. And so my activity with Netgalley really went downhill. But then they announced that they were adding audiobooks, and then I was right back in and I became a Netgalley person again. They recommend that you have like 80% feedback rate, as in you've requested books and sent feedback on 80% of them. They recommend that, but I get rejected for books all the time from Netgalley, regardless of my percentage. I think there's a lot more that plays into it, but I've had a couple of winners. I think usually what I really, really want to read and what's like a super high anticipated release, those usually I don't get selected for, but I get selected for more not as well known books or authors. But so we're just going to walk through them. I'm not going to tell you like what each book is about, but we're just going to see if I read it, what I thought if I have read it, or if I'm glad I got rejected, etc. Like her video, and I'll tag Becky's video down below. So the first one was Small Favors by Aaron A. Craig. I have not read this. I did read A House of Salt and Sorrows by Aaron A. Craig and really liked it. Which is why I requested this. But sadly, I have not gotten to it yet. I haven't necessarily lost interest in it, but I haven't gotten to it, so maybe it was a good thing they rejected me. And then they rejected me for Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. And if you know me, you know that Stephanie Garber is one of my favorite authors. And I did read this and gave it 5 stars. So they missed out on getting a great review from me. I also requested All of Our Demise by Amanda Foody and C.L. Herman. I do own a copy of this, as well as Once Upon a Broken Heart. I loved All of Us Villains, which was the predecessor for All of Our Demise. This one flopped for me. I didn't love this one as much as I liked the first one. I think I still gave it a pretty good rating, like 4 stars. Yeah, I still gave it 4.5 stars, so still a great rating, even if I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. So they missed out on me giving that one a pretty good rating as well. And then for Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro, I did read this. I did not like it. I was really hooked in the beginning, but it was really long and had a lot of like creepy and scary elements. There was a lot of it that was interesting as well, but I ended up giving this 3 stars. Not a bad rating though, just not a high praiseworthy rating. They could have gotten a decent rating, but not anything glowing, I suppose. Next one is This Vicious Grace by Emily Fieldy. I requested this because it was like a YA, I think Dangerous Powers or something, book that was coming out. And I was excited about it coming out as an anticipated release of mine. I'm still excited to read it someday, but I haven't. So I haven't necessarily lost interest, but it just wasn't on my docket right now. Maybe it's a good reason they rejected me since I haven't read it. Same with The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd-Jones. It was another one that was kind of hyped that year that I was excited about, but I ended up not actually reading. I have a copy of it. I plan on reading it someday, but haven't yet. And same with The Book Eaters by Sunya Dean, but I feel like if I got the audio arc of that, I would have read it. Because I am really intrigued by it, and it's pretty short. But again, just haven't picked it up. My track record for the last couple was not great. And then the next one is The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. We just talked about Stephanie Garber. I read this and I think I gave it 5 stars. I think I gave almost all the books in that series 5 stars, but if not, it was still very high because I loved them. So they missed out on a great rating of that because I love the Caraval universe. Same with Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I read that and loved it. I gave it 4 stars, but I remember really being intrigued by that world and really liking it. Next one is The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. Still interested in reading this, but I haven't picked them up yet. They sound kind of like funny, cute, almost cozy fantasies. So I can't say that it's a bad thing they rejected me if I haven't read it yet, but I still want to. And Raising the Horseman by Serena Valentino. I think I was excited about this because I really want more The Headless Horseman retellings. But I have lost interest in this and don't really plan on picking it up. So maybe it's a good thing they skipped me. The next one is Prince of Song and Sea by Lindsay Miller. This is a Disney Prince retelling. So it's like from the perspective of the Disney Prince, and it's a series she's doing. And I know she did this one for Eric, and she did Prince Philip, which I own a hard copy of, but she didn't do an audiobook for that one. But I actually own the audiobook for this. I got it because I was excited that it was a Disney Prince. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I went as far as to purchase the audiobook myself. So I feel like it was a miss on their part. But if I hate it, who knows? Like, I don't know. And then Cursed by Marissa Meyer. I read this, really liked the Gilded and Cursed duology. I would say I liked this one, I didn't like this one as much as the first one. I did end up giving this one 3 stars, but I do really enjoy Marissa Meyer's writing. So it's understandable, it's kind of understandable they skipped me for this, but c'est la vie. Next one is The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. I did read this. I've actually read quite a few of these, which I'm proud of. And I have such a weird relationship with these books because they're so easy to read and to like digest, and I enjoy it. But there's something about it also that I don't love, and I felt like that with this one too. But I still want to finish the series. I have them right here, the whole trilogy. I just need to read the last one. But it's intriguing and I enjoy it, even though I have like a weird love-hate relationship with it. So I ended up giving it 3 stars. So I guess depending on what they would have wanted me to say, but I did read it. Next one is The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. I do still really want to read this, but have not picked it up. So maybe understandable they skipped me over. And then Empire of Exiles by Erin M. Evans. I can't remember what this is about. I bet if I read the description, I would still want to read it, but I can't remember what it's about. So moving right along. There's so many pages of my rejections. It's kind of sad. Stoneblind by Natalie Haynes. This was a Medusa retelling, I believe, which I would be down probably to read any Medusa retelling, but I've kind of lost interest in it, so it's okay. They rejected me for The Foxglove King by Hannah Whitten, which is honestly probably okay because I did read this. Me and Hannah Whitten have a weird relationship because I really liked For the Wolf, and then For the Throne kind of tanked for me, one of her other books, and then I read The Foxglove King. I hate it when you click on a book on Goodreads and it doesn't tell you, like, you've read it, but it doesn't say that. Yeah, so I ended up giving The Foxglove King 3 stars. I kind of just felt like it was okay, so maybe it's a good thing they didn't give it to me. The next is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakravorty, and I read this and loved it. It was one of my favorite reads the year that I read it. It was a 5-star, so they missed out on that one. I loved it. And then One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I think this is like a Romeo and Juliet retelling or something. I think I was just kind of on the high of Olivia Blake becoming really popular and requested this. I think I might read this eventually, but I don't have desire to. Like, I don't have interest to right now. So it's probably a good thing they didn't give it to me. Witch King by Martha Wells. I do own a copy of this and I haven't read it yet. I do plan to. I love the Murderbot Diaries by this author, which is why I requested it. But I've heard not great things about The Witch King, so I don't know. Painted Devils by Margaret Owen. I requested this because I loved the first book in the series, and I enjoyed this one a lot as well. It might have been more than the first one. I gave it 4 stars. Really liked it. Probably missed out. There's so many of these, though. God Killer by Hannah Kaner. I read it. I loved it. It was a 5-star read. I loved the monster hunting and the found family aspects and the tricky, like, trickster gods. Loved it. would have given it a good review. Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. I read Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher and loved it, so I thought I would really like this one. And I have read this, but I ended up only giving it 3 stars and saying it was fine. So, Masters of Death by Olive E. Blake. Again, I was on an Olive E. Blake high, I think, and just excited about her works. I don't even remember what this is about. I think maybe witches. I've since lost interest. Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry. I love Legends and Lattes, and so I wanted to read this one. I still will. I'm going to read this one, but I haven't picked it up yet. Maybe I would have if they'd sent it to me. But yeah, I haven't picked it up yet, so can't blame them. And The Gentleman's Gambit by Evie Dunmore. I love Evie Dunmore. I've read this book. I gave it 5 stars. I gave it a fantastic review. I rave about her books and how they just make me feel. So, you could have had a great review had you perused my love of Evie Dunmore. You would never do that. It's fine. And the next one is The Forest Grimm by Catherine Purdy, which I have my copy of here from Fairy Loot. I have read this. I did like it. I think it was a little bit, not subpar for me. That's not the word I'm looking for. Kind of middle of the road. I ended up giving it 3 stars and it was fine. But I was looking forward to continuing in book 2. The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzin. This is one, I have a copy of it somewhere over here, that I still really want to read. I do have high interest in reading this still, but I haven't gotten to it yet. The Princess Protection Program by Alex London. I think this was like a middle grade and it just sounded really adorable, and I like reading middle grades sometimes and I can get through them really quickly. So I probably requested it for that reason. I have not read it, but probably would have enjoyed it. This Dark Descent by Kaylin Jofison. I have not read this. I think I still have maybe lingering interest, but not as much as I did when I requested it, for sure. A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. I have read this. It was like clothing magic and sewing magic, and I remember thinking that was so interesting, but I guess the way it was executed didn't really do it for me, and so I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. Not a bad review, but not a raving review either. I liked that it was like historical romance meets fantasy. There were elements that I definitely would have participated in reviewing had I been given the opportunity to. A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Fazal. I still really want to read this. It's like a vampire tea shop. It's like tea shop by day, vampire blood bank by night. Still really want to read this. Still have interest in it. Whenever I can get to it. A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. I have read this. I just talked about this in my reading wrap-up actually, but I didn't love it. I had a weird relationship with the book. I liked parts of it and I disliked parts of it. I thought some parts were powerful. I thought some parts were kind of silly. But I ended up giving it 3 stars. The Darkness Within Us by Trisha Levenseller. I have not read this. I do plan on reading it. I've read several of Trisha Levenseller's works at this point and have liked all of them, which is why I requested it, because I liked The Darkness Between Us. And then this is like not necessarily a prequel, but I think it is kind of a prequel of her sister's story. So I was like, oh, absolutely. But didn't get the opportunity. And The Fireborn Blade by Charlotte Bond. I requested this because I think it's like 3 hours long. It's very short. And it's about a lady knight that goes to fight a dragon. And I think there's twist and commentary within that. I have not read this, but I do plan to someday. But I've kind of lost interest, so maybe it's a good thing they didn't give it to me. The Irish Goodbye by Amy Ewing. I still want to read this. I think I still have it saved in my Everand because I still want to read this. It's like an Irish contemporary romance, which is something I would absolutely read 100% and probably enjoy, just if it mentioned Ireland. So, Foul Days by Geneva Demonia. I have not read this, but I do have this audiobook to read. I bought this audiobook, so I'm going to read it, and I think it's going to be really, really good. But I went out of my way to buy my own copy because I wasn't given one. The Sky on Fire by Jen Lyons. This is a dragon fantasy book. I still really want to get to this, but I have not yet. I haven't lost interest, but it's just a little bit on the back burner. But I do plan on reading this someday. I Want to Trust You, But I Don't by Lisa Turkhurst. This is a non-fiction book that I have read and I loved. I probably would have raved about this book because it's amazing. And would have given it a good review, you know? I don't rate a lot of nonfiction books. I would have, of course, for Netgalley's sakes and purposes, but it was really, really good. I think it deserves hype. I think it deserves for people to read it that are interested in this subject matter. Empire of Shadows by Jacqueline Benson. I think this is like pitched as kind of like an Indiana Jones romance situation. And I remember it sounding really intriguing, and I still would like to read this sometime, but I'm not chomping at the bit to read it anymore. Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson. I requested this specifically for my husband because he is a huge Brandon Sanderson fan and loves the Stormlight Archive series, so I actually requested this for him. It had nothing to do with me. And they didn't give it to me. Cruel Winter with You by Allie Hazelwood. I did read this. I ended up buying my own copy of it. It was like 99 cents or something for the audiobook. I ended up buying my own copy of it, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, I think. It was such a good short story for winter. It was so cute. Would have given it a good review. All's Fair in Love and Treachery by Celeste Connolly. I have no remembrance of what this is about. I have no, like, inkling of what this is about. I probably still would have read it, but I have no clue, so that's okay. I also got rejected for Under the Mistletoe, which was the compilation of those, like, Cruel Winter with You audiobooks. It was all of them. I believe I read all of them, and only 2 of them I loved. I think I would have given it a good review because 2 of them I loved, and then I would have talked about the things that I disliked about the others. So that one is like hit or miss. Merriment and Mayhem by Alexandria Bolifer. So I requested the whole set, and then I requested these 2 separately. The 2 that I requested separately are the ones that I ended up loving. A Cruel Winter with You and Merriment and Mayhem. I gave them both really high ratings and loved them. So, Once Upon a Christmas Tree by Lulu Moore. This is a Christmas contemporary romance, and I just love those, and I probably would have given it a pretty good rating. Just because I generally do if it's not, like, gross. So, but I haven't read it. A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. I have read this, and I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I loved the politics and the dark parts of war and rebels and squashing the caste system and being put in a caste system and how that's abused and how it's blackmailed to get you to do horrible things. Yeah, I loved that book. And I actually, funny enough, got approved on Netgalley for the sequel, A War of Wyverns. Also read that, also liked it, also gave it 4 stars. So had they given me A Language of Dragons, would have given it a very similar good rating. The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. I loved that book. It was one of my favorite reads of last year, and it was a 5-star read. I absolutely love that book. So they would have gotten a great review. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Brigitte Knightley. Again, loved that book. One of my favorite reads of last year. Glowing review, gushing review they would have received. Forest King's Daughter by Ellie Blake. I have read this. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. I think there was something off about the pacing and the plot for me, but I liked the world in general. It's like a forest elf kind of situation. I don't remember if they're elves or not. Maybe it's just like a forest, magical forest situation, and then like an underground demon situation. It was really interesting, but something about it was off for me. And I've since read every one of this author's works because she wrote the Frostblood saga as well. So that's interesting. But would have gotten an okay review, not great. Firebird by Juliet Cross. I still have intention to read this, and I still would like to, but I haven't heard the best things, so I hope it's different for me. And maybe it's a good thing they didn't give it to me. House of Blight by Maxim M. Martanu. I still really want to read this. I'm really intrigued by this book, and I should pick it up sooner rather than later. But I haven't. So maybe it's good they didn't give it to me, you know? I'm going to say like the same phrases over and over again because that's basically what this video is. Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. I read this and really liked it. I've really enjoyed the Wicked Game series by Kaylee Smith. I think it's kind of unique and it's like a really darker adult Caraval, and I think that's what I like about it. And I liked this one as well. I gave it 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. They would have gotten a good review from me. Holy Terrors by Margaret Owen. We're back to that series. This is the same series I was talking about with Painted Devils. that I got rejected for, read it and liked it. I actually haven't read this yet, and I haven't finished the trilogy, but I think I'm still going to really love it because I've loved the trilogy thus far. But technically I haven't read it. I have every intention to read it. It just really got put off. So hopefully I like it. They may have gotten a good review. Maybe they wouldn't have. All right, last page. Behooved by M. Stevenson. I read this and I really liked it. I think I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. Yes, 4.5 stars. This one was just so adventurous and funny and silly and cute that I just had a really good time with it. So they would have gotten a good review from me for this one. The Ever King by L.J. Andrews. I read this and I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really needed to finish the duology, but I really liked this. They would have gotten a great review. The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. I did read this. I did like it. I think parts of it fell a little bit flat for me, but I loved the setting. I loved the characters. I loved the plants. They were so cute. So I ended up giving this 3.5 stars, but still really liked it. They would have gotten an okay review. The Butcher by Penelope Sky. I think this is like a shorter, dark romance. I don't really remember. I do still have interest in reading it someday, but not as much as other things, so it's kind of on the back burner. So maybe it's a good thing they didn't give it to me. Heir of Storms by Lauren Hamilton Murray. I have in fact read this, and I did love it. I gave it 5 stars. I think the world is amazing. I loved the elemental magic and the like kind of competition to become the next ruler elements of it. Oh, it was so good. I loved this. Would have gotten an amazing review from me had they given me a chance. Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Kimmerer. I do very much still want to read this, but I have not gotten to it. I think it sounds really good, and I think I hauled it in my book haul and was like, I really need to read this, and I just haven't. So I can't say they would have gotten a good review, but I have high hopes. These Broken Hearts by Lexi Ryan. I have read this. I did really enjoy it. It's a darker story, and I don't think I liked this duology as much as I liked the first duology by Lexi Ryan. I did end up giving it 4 stars, and it was a pretty good review. Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I have not read this yet, but I do really want to. This is one of R.F. Kuang's books that I think is at the top of my list, more so than the others. I really, really, really want to read it. It sounds so good, so I will still read this. Well, Actually by Maisie Eddings. I have a copy of this somewhere. I remember wanting to read it because they said it's like the chicken shop date show on YouTube, except it was called Sausage Talk, and she ends up kind of finding out that this boy in college that was awful and broke her heart and like played her is this like social media influencer about men treating women well, and she's like, how could this be, and makes a comment about it, and then it goes viral and they invite him on the show for her to like go do this date with, this like interview date, and I really liked it. I don't think I loved it as much as I thought I would, but I did give it 4 stars. Society of Unknowable Objects by Gareth Brown. I requested this because I love the Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. It was like a book that I just picked up on a whim and ended up really falling in love with, and I thought it would happen with this one as well because that was my first introduction to that author. I think that was his debut book. So I really wanted to read this. I have not yet, but I still plan to. I still really want to. So hopefully I like it. But maybe it's a good thing they didn't give it to me. I don't know. Thorn Season by Kira Azar. I have read this. I feel like I've read a lot of these. I'm not going to like break it down into numbers. I probably should, but I'm not going to. But I feel like I have read a decent amount of these. Could have just given you a review in my reading, you know? Yeah, so I did really like this one. I ended up giving it 4 stars. Not as much as The Rose Bargain. I loved that one a lot more, but I did really enjoy this for sure. And look forward to continuing. Once a Villain by Vanessa Lynn. This is one I think I'm glad they did not give me because I loved the first book. The second book had like a lot of second book syndrome and I was getting frustrated with some of it. And then the third book, it like ramped up and I was really excited and I couldn't wait to like end the trilogy and see what happened. And then it just absolutely tanked for me and I was so mad. So maybe it's a good thing they don't have me ranting about it. I did give it 3 stars, but I was so mad at the conclusion of that story after waiting for 2 years. So, The Princess Knight by Kate Jacobs. Oh, that's right here. I did read this. I did, in fact, read it. I have a copy of it. I thought this book would be a lot more silly and funny and more like Legally Blonde-ish, because that's kind of what it's vibing. It's like she gets jilted by this prince that she thinks is going to propose to her, and he thinks she's just kind of flippant. And so she joins this like Royal Academy for military to prove that she is a good ruler. And hijinks, and things happen along the way, and there's nefarious plots uncovered. But I thought it'd be a little bit more funny and silly, and it wasn't. Still very good. Gave it 4 stars. Still enjoyed it. They would have gotten a decent review from me. For Slayer by Ali Hazelwood, I requested this because it's Ali Hazelwood, and it was a vampire romance or something, and I thought that was hilarious. And I've pretty much enjoyed, except for one, I've enjoyed every Ali Hazelwood book I've read. So I think they would have gotten a good review from me, but I haven't read this, so we don't know for sure. I totally would have read it if they gave it to me, though. God Hasn't Forgotten You by Robert J. Morgan. This was like a nonfiction that I was curious in reading, and maybe would still read it, but I definitely fell off my radar once I got rejected for this, so. Scrooged for the Holidays by Kayla Gross. This is like a Christmas romance, but also a Scrooge retelling, but not B.K. Boris, and it's like each of the spirits was manifested by a guy, and I was just curious about it. I don't honestly think I care that much to read it anymore now that it's not like the Christmas season, so it's probably a good thing they didn't give it to me, but not too mad about that one. And then they did this like same kind of Valentine's situation like they did with Cruel Winter with You and that set of Christmas short story audiobooks. So they were doing the same thing for Valentine's Day. And I was curious, so I requested Second Act Romance by Julie Soto because she's the same author as The Rose Bargain that I love. So I requested that, and Valentine's Slay by Nevessa Allen, who's another author I have enjoyed. So I requested both of those. They said no thank you to both of those. I haven't read them, so I can't say much, but I think I would like them. And then last but not least, Fake Flame by Adele Buck. I requested this because it's a romantic comedy about a bookish firefighter and a feminist English professor. Like, it sounds so good. I still want to read this. I think I still will. I think this book has been out, but this is like the audiobook that's just now coming out potentially. So I still want to read this. It's apparently the first book in a first responder series, but doesn't that sound cute? It sounds cute. Maybe I would have hated it, I don't know, but they did reject me. Overall, I think I did read a lot of these and give them decent reviews. There are some for sure that I'm glad I didn't get approved for, or ones that just kind of like fell off my radar, and that's fine. But I do think overall, had they given me the chance for a lot of these, I would have given them really good reviews. But that's the name of the game. I will say there was one that they ended up giving me, and I ended up DNFing it, so I had to not give feedback on, and that was A Crown of Ivy and Glass by Claire Legrand. It was not a great time for me. Well, that is me just like going through my Netgalley and talking about frustrations of not being approved for some of my favorite books of the year. No, it's fine. But it is kind of interesting. What do you guys think of Netgalley? Do you use it? Do you get frustrated with it? Do you find a lot of success with it? I would love to know your thoughts. This is just kind of a chill, silly video to just kind of reflect myself on these books that I have or have not read and be reminded of them, or think about maybe it's a good thing I didn't get some of these, Thank you so much for watching, but that is it for today's video. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time. Stay safe and caffeinated. Bye.